Hello, and welcome to another session of Reading with Z. I'll be reading from Dr. Bobby J. Price, the usual education over medication, myths, lies, and truths about modern foods and medicines. I'm not a vegan or vegetarian, but I do eat the majority of vegetables and fruits over protein. So today I'll be talking about the protein myth. If you think you cannot build muscle on bananas, I challenge you to pick a fight with an ape. That's Garth Davis, MD, author of Proteinaholics. Many people have a love affair with meat that borders addiction and deception. The very thought of not having meat during one meal, let alone an entire day, sends them into a frenzy, as if you're asking them to stop breathing. It has also make you wonder why a simple request creates so much anxiety. At one point in my life, I wouldn't have responded any differently. Yet despite the fact that I began my plant-based journey in 2011 and here I am alive, well, and fit, people don't believe still that you can survive, much less thrive, on a plant-based lifestyle. Somehow protein has become the first and last conversation whenever there is a discussion on the topic of nutrition. Most people embrace the ideal because we are mostly made of muscle. Protein is much more significant than any other nutrient. But when did the words meat, muscle, and protein become synonymous? And is animal protein really the best source of protein we can have? Let's address these questions. In 1838, the Dutch chemist Gerardus Mulder first discovered the chemical structure of proteins. The word protein itself comes from the Greek word protes, meaning of prime importance. This was a fitting description considering it was also discovered that the muscles, skin, and organs are primarily made of proteins. Proteins are made of varying combinations of 20 amino acids, of which 8 are called essential because they must come from food you eat. 9 for children. The other 12 can be made by your body. These 20 amino acids are combined in several thousand chemical permutations that alter the functionality of the protein. Some of these functions include enzymes essential for biochemical reactions like the digestion, contractual proteins responsible for movement, antibodies that defend the body against foreign invaders, hormones like insulin that regulate glucose sugar metabolism, structural proteins like collagen, elastin, and tendons, and ligaments, and proteins that transport hemoglobin, which carries oxygen through the blood. No one can dispute the supreme importance of protein in all life. However, the belief that because our muscles are made of proteins, we require to eat massive amount of animal protein to maintain our muscle build is a total myth. Prior to the industrialization of food supply, meat was crowned king because there was a time when only rich, wealthy, and royalty could afford it. During these times, obesity and obsolescence were viewed as symbols of wealth and health. Even in America up to the 1950s, the vast majority of Americans ate meat only on occasions like Sunday dinners and birthdays because it wasn't affordable and yet so deeply ingrained in our cultural tradition. Protein is without a doubt the most highly complex of all nutritional sources. There is a much higher energy requirement for digestive elimination of protein than any other macronutrients. Fruits can be easily processed in 20 minutes in our stomach, most vegetables in 60 minutes, and whole grains and legumes can take up to 2 hours. Animal protein, however, takes a minimum of 5 hours to process, but it is only if it's suitable portion size on an empty stomach, not when in combination with other foods. When meat is eaten with other complex macronutrients, the digestive system of the stomach will significantly increase due to the stomach attempting to metabolize these proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, simultaneously with both acidic and alkaline digestive juices, which will essentially neutralize themselves. The undigested food will then be passed on to the small intestines, unfit for assimilation and utilization. As a result, will begin to rot and ferment, releasing methane gas and other toxins into the body, creating disease instead of providing the intended nourishment of health. Because of this improper combining of food, most Western societies are constipated, overfed, and malnourished. As a case in point, the first recommendation by the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, for protein requirements was a whopping 125 grams per day, while today that requirement has been reduced to about 55 grams per day. Allow me to explain why either this reduced requirement is overstated. The cells in our body are in a constant state of synthesis and breakdown of the body's proteins. The proteins that are broken down are reduced back to their body building block amino acids and returned into circulation. Some of these amino acids are used to synthesize new proteins, some are used for energy, and others are eliminated. This continuous recycling of protein in the body is referred to as protein turnover. Roughly 70% or 200 grams of 300 grams of protein synthesized in the body daily is recycled. This is why our true biological requirement for dietary protein is so little. In addition, the human body only loses 23 grams of protein daily via perspiration, urination, hair loss, defecation, and skin shedding. This is not even equivalent to 1 ounce, yet it is common dinner etiquette to eat a 9-ounce steak and call it protein replacement. The claims of danger related to low dietary protein are so far-fetched that I can only think of 2 related medical conditions that exist, marasmus and Kwashiorkor, and these conditions are virtually non-existent in Western societies, and no studies have ever confirmed either vegetarians or vegans contracting these conditions. What is of massive importance is that proteins are assembled in the body from amino acids, not from complete proteins. All dietary protein must be digested and then broken down into the amino acid blocks for utilization. Animal protein is dead, denatured by cooking, and in the form of complete protein, not an amino acid. When we eat animal protein, our body has to break those complete proteins down into amino acids, sift through the remaining byproducts to determine what is usable, and then safely eliminate the remaining waste. This is the bottom line. Your body does not use protein directly from food. Our bodies make proteins from commonly available amino acids. Until next time, Reading with Z.